Okay, so let us start. So good afternoon, everyone. This is Introduction to Computer Networks and Security, and today we have Rohit Patida sir, who is a core team member of our Network and Security Department, and the second one it's me, Chonram Tisangma. I'm the coordinator of this department. So next we have Introduction to Computer Networks. So what is computer networks? So a computer network is a group of devices connected with each other through a transmission
Yeah.
medium such as
Sorry to
wires.
sorry to interrupt you, Jonshram. Could you please share this presentation? It is not in sharing mode, right?
Uh, yes, sir.
Slideshow it. Make it a full screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
full screen, right?
Now it's visible, sir. It's okay, sir.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. So introduction to computer networks. So what do we mean by computer network is? A computer network is a group of devices connected with each other through a transmission medium such as wires, cables. It can be Wi-Fi, microwave transmission, free space optical communication, and like you name it. Okay, the list goes on. And these devices, which are connected in the network, these devices can be your computers, your printer, your scanner, your fax machines, and this should be your computing devices. Okay, so now we know that these are the devices. The computer network is a group of devices connected with each other through a transmission medium such as wires. But what is the purpose of these devices? What is the need of these devices to be connected to a network? So, like where if someone asks us what is the purpose of computer network, then that would be to send and receive data stored in other devices over the network. If we want to send, as I suppose, if we want to send some information from one devices to other devices, then we have to connect it to the other devices through this computer networking. So computer networks, that's the main reason why we need the computer network. And uh, these devices which are connected in a network, these devices are referred as nodes. So if someone asks us like, what do you mean by nodes in computer networking, then you can say that these are the devices such as computers, printers, scanners, your fax machine. So these devices are referred as nodes in computer networking. So this is the basics about computer networks. So next, this is the representation of how this computer network works in a real environment. As we can see in this representation, we have these three desktop computers, which is connected to switch, and that switch is connected to server, and then again that switch is connected to the top part, which is a router and firewall. Okay, router or firewall, and then in the middle we have our workstation, and then in the uh, right side we have Wi-Fi, which is connecting to iPhone and laptop computers and our smartphones. And then that Wi-Fi is again connected to the same router and firewall. And then again, that router and firewall is connected to modem. And then finally, that modem is connected to internet. So what basically this representation is telling us, from this representation or from this diagram, we can take out the definition of internet. Okay, so what do we mean by internet? Is that the internet is one giant network that consists of many small networks within itself. As we can see that we have switches, we have modems, we have servers. So these are the small networks. Okay, so these are known as small networks. So these small networks, when connected as a one, then that giant thing is called internet. Okay, so when someone asks you about what is internet, then you can say that internet is one giant network that consists of many small networks within itself. So I think this is clear to everyone. If it is not clear, please bear with us. We will try to make it more clear in the coming slides. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide now. So there are five basic components of a computer network. which is number one, we have messages. So it is the data or information which needs to be transferred from one devices to another devices over a computer network. And second one, we have sender. So what is sender? Sender is basically a device that has the data and needs to send that data to other device connected to the same network as the one which is sending. So that is the working of a sender. It sends the data to other devices. And the third one, we have a receiver. So what is receiver? So a receiver is the device which is expecting the data from other devices on the network. As the name suggests, it's a receiver, so it's expecting some data from the other devices. So in computer network, the devices which is trying to access data from other devices, that device is called receiver. And then the fourth one, we have transmission media. So in order to transfer this data from one device to another device, of course, we need a transmission media. It can be through wires, it can be like cables, radio waves like microwave transmission, it can be wireless also like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So this medium or these things acts as a transmission media in a computer network. Okay, so these are the things through which the computers communicate. So if someone asks us like what is how this computer network, like how these devices communicate to each other, how they connect to a network, then we can say that it can be through wires, it can be through cables, radio waves like microwave transmission. It can be wireless also like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Okay, so this is all about transmission media. And the last one, which is very important in computer networking, it is protocol. Okay, so the definition of protocol is a protocol is a set of rules that are agreed by both sender and receiver with sender and receiver. So without a protocol, two devices can be connected to each other, but they cannot communicate. Okay. In order to establish a reliable communication or data sharing between two different devices, we need a set of rules that are connected that are called protocol. For example, HTTP and HTTPS are the two protocols used by web servers to get and post the data to internet. Similarly, SMTP protocol is used by email services connected to the internet. So like if you are not clear with the definition written here, think of this as a two guy. We have two guy. One speaks German and the other guy speaks French. So what does it? These two people are doing. These two people can work together, can be sitting in the same room, but in order to communicate, they should understand the other person should understand German and the other person should understand French. Unless and until they both understand the both languages, the communication cannot complete. Okay, the communication will be failed. So in order to for them to communicate, they have to understand the both languages. Okay, so this is exactly what's happening in computer networks also. This is the protocol. The protocol should be understandable by both the sender and receiver. As we have seen, what is sender? Sender is the device that sends data, and the receiver is the device that receives the data. Okay, so while doing this transferring and receiving, they have to follow certain protocol, and that protocol should be understandable by both of these devices. So this is the basic definition of protocol. So it is a set of rules that are agreed by both sender and receiver. Okay, so if we want to know more about these protocols, we can like Google about it. So like we can get more information about it. Okay, so it's just a basic definition of this protocol thing. So these are the 5 basic components of a computing network. I hope so far it's clear. And now we'll move on to the next slide. So like whatever we have discussed in the previous slides, like computer networks, like the diagrammatic representation, these are the very basic definitions or very basic things. Like very basic things in computer networks. Okay, so if we want to deep dive into computer networks and really want to master what is going on in our devices, what are the things going on when we switch our router, when we connect to devices, then I would like to recommend you guys to go on learn these topics. Okay, if you want to, if we want to work in a cyberspace industries or field, then these are the topics we need to master first. And the first topic I would like to suggest you is the topologies. Okay, so number one, we have topologies. There's topologies like, if we go through these topologies, we have star topologies, bar topologies, and like many topologies are there. Okay, so these will give us the basic idea of what actually this computer network, the computer networking is. Okay, so and then second thing, we have this OSI model. These models are very important to know before starting learning computer networks. So these are the basic thing. And the second one, we have TCP IP model. And like fourth one, we have IP address, and we have subnets or subnetting. And the last one, we have DNS server, which stands for domain name system. So these are the topics I would like to recommend you guys to learn, to search from like Google and other things, other uh, platforms. You will find many resources, good resources on this thing. And if you really like study these things, I hope that the computer network will be very clear to you. And I think this is all about my side. This is from my side, the computer network, basic about computer networks. From the next slide, Rohit sir will be taking that. So now I give time to Rohit sir.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I am Rohit Patidar from the third year CSE. So I'll be discussing about the introduction to the cybersecurity. What basically cybersecurity is. So why we need cybersecurity, and for that, let me explain first what are cyber attacks. So cyber attacks are the attacks where a person or a hacker exploits a vulnerability or weakness of a system in order to gain access, unauthorized access, or change some data, or steal some data, or encrypt file to ask for ransom, or destroy sensitive information. Or another intention for a cyber attack is to bring down a system, just like denial of service attack. Some of you may know about it. So for protecting organization from those kind of attacks, organization maintains a separate department called cybersecurity. Those departments have a responsibility to protect their assets against such cyber attacks. So next slide, please. So there are various types of cybersecurities where there are such part of cybersecurities. So it is mainly divided into two parts: red teaming and blue teaming. So what do you mean by red teaming? In the cybersecurity, red teaming means offensive. Just like there is a red team that tries to hack and penetrate a software or system, or a security architecture of an organization, and then if they found any vulnerability, then they'll report to that another part of the cybersecurity department, that is called blue team. What blue team is? Blue team takes the response that there is some vulnerability in that part of the system, or that system is vulnerable to such kind of things, and they took the blue team took all the information from the red team, and then blue team have a responsibility to fix that thing, fix that security posture, and maintain that integrity of a system. So this is the main types of the cyber security: blue teaming and red teaming, and both of them have a huge scope in nowadays, as cyber security is it provides a tremendous amount of jobs and all. But the main problem in the current main problem in the current industry is that there are still skill problem. There are huge skill gap in the current generation versus previous generation. So uh, there is a huge skill gap. So there is a many unfilled cyber security posts, but they need to be the persons need to be more skilled. Next slide, please. So in the next slide, I'll be explaining about hacking. What is hacking? So basically, hacking is trying to exploit a computer system or a network by exploiting a vulnerability and gaining unauthorized access for some malicious purpose or some wrong intentions, we can say, or illegal intentions. So there are various types of hackers, such as black hat hackers, white hat, and gray hat. So, what is black hat hackers? So, black hat hackers are cyber criminals who break into systems with a malicious and criminal intentions. Second one is white hat hackers. White hat hackers are the cybersecurity experts who use their skills to find vulnerabilities in organizations and try to fix them to maintain security posture. And the gray hat hackers, they are cybersecurity experts who can hack computer systems but without malicious intentions. So these are the types of hackers and what is hacking. I was trying to say about. Next slide, please. Okay. So as I was talking about careers in cybersecurity. So in the red teaming roles and entry level, there are some roles like ethical hacker and penetration tester. Company hire those hackers to work them for ethically. They'll provide them a system and ask them to penetrate it and find vulnerabilities to help them maintaining the security. And there are blue teaming roles as well: cyber security analyst, network security engineer, etc. So what is the main purpose of these jobs? Cyber security analyst, basically in this job you need to just monitor the whole traffic and network. If somebody breaks in or a data breach is going on, if someone is trying to attack a system, attack our organization and or not. Network security is in network security part, you just need to maintain the security posture of a network by just monitoring the traffic of the network, how the data packets are coming in, if someone is trying to um, penetrate into firewall and all. And there are forensic jobs as well in government jobs, we can say, in intelligence, police, etc. And there is a last another option, freelancing. If you don't get job anywhere, and there is no need to worry, there is an option called bug bounty. So you can report bugs to the websites and the official organizations, and they'll pay you money for it. And there are some most paid jobs in cybersecurity India, such as cybersecurity architect and cyber information security officer. We can also call CISO. So for this job, you can get paid more than 2 lakhs per month or 25 around 25 lakhs per year. So these are the top most paid jobs in the cybersecurity field. That's what I was trying to show you. And next slide, please. Next slide, there are some recommended materials you can learn. So I'll be sharing this PPT with you guys. You don't need to worry. So there are some books and some courses we would like to refer to you guys for starting your career with cybersecurity if you are interested in working in this domain. And next slide, please. So, so here we'll take a 10 minute break. Then after that, I'll be showing you that practical lab setup. How can you set up your Linux system? For thank you for your time being. And after 10 minutes, we'll start the next part of the session. Chansaram, you can stop presenting. We'll start next parts of the session by 5:45. So you guys can take rest.
Rohit,
Yes, sir.
yeah, can we start at 5:40?
Okay, sir. We can start at 5:40.
Yeah, because like if we will give them this much of gap now, they are going
Okay,
to
okay, sir.
leave.
Okay, so I hope everyone is back after a short break. So we'll be learning about how can we start from today our in this cybersecurity field. So there are various things you can do with cybersecurity, just like bug bounty. Bug bounty you can do as a student as well if you have enough skills and knowledge about cybersecurity. Then what you can do, you can find bugs in bugs, or we can say security flaws in the websites, just like common everyday websites. So there are several bug bounty programs that is going on. So what they do, they pay you money for finding bugs, just like they are telling their security team to make a website. They are trying to make a website, but someone has made some mistake, or there is some security infrastructure flaw, and there is a bug in it. So if you help them to find their security that bug, they'll pay you money for it, and you can do it as a student as well. As I can give an example of Viraj. He's my batch, but he is earning money with this bug bounty thing. So it is a very interesting topic to talk about. And next thing I was going to tell you uh, that how to get started with cybersecurity. So most of the in getting started with cybersecurity thing, you need to start learning about technologies, different technologies, and different type of architectures are there. There are Windows-based kernels, Linux-based kernels. So for the hacking and cybersecurity thing, most of the people use Linux distributions, different Linux distributions, because Windows don't allow us to do such things that we need to do. So for that, we need Linux in that. So there are several distributions are there for. Let me share my screen. Then I'll be explaining. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So I was telling you, so most famous Linux distribution for cybersecurity and hacking is this Kali Linux. So it is an unstable operating system. So I will not suggest you to install it on a hardware. But there are three ways you can access to this Linux. First one is VirtualBox. Second one is dual boot. Third one is a flash drive, you can say. So in the VirtualBox, what you can do, you can download the software called VirtualBox, and you can install this secondary OS into that VirtualBox that will work in an isolated environment. Second one is a dual boot. What is dual boot? You can install this operating system into your machine, into your system, along with the Windows. So there will be two operating system in a single system with a partition in the hard disk, in your with some partition in your hard disk. And third way is to use this. This is the most inconvenient way I can say. So in this way, what you take a pen drive or a cd whatever you can, and you make them bootable, and you can use those by just use those cd or pen drive, just inserting it, and during boot you can just boot through those usbs. But those users don't provide you speed and accuracy that you want, because they are just they are some GBs now. So then they don't provide you RAM or data storage as well. And every time you shut down a machine, it restarts. So most convenient way to access Linux is, in my eyes, and that is VirtualBox. The VirtualBox is the best, because these Linux distributions are very unstable, and there are several like Garuda, Parrot, and Kali Linux. So if you try to install them on your system, it might corrupt the hard disk. So that will be a problem. So I will not suggest you to install it anywhere. So just try to run this system in a virtual environment only. So for that, what you need to do, you need to download a virtual box called Oracle VirtualBox. So it is a simple software that will help you to run a system in it. So as you can see,
Sorry to interrupt, Rohit. Can you reshare your screen? I think it's get freezed.
okay.
Yeah.
Now it is visible.
Excuse
Yeah,
me,
it's
sir.
good.
Yes.
Sir, I am using Ubuntu Linux. Is it important to use Kali
No,
Linux?
no, you can use Linux distributions, but the Kali has some pre-installed modules and libraries that you may need to use in cybersecurity, just like in hacking kind of things. So in Ubuntu and other things, Ubuntu is not much unstable. You can even install it on a hardware. There is no problem in it, but you need to manually install those libraries and packages for your purposes. So
Okay.
that's why I will say.
By using virtually or by booting, sir, we use Kali software operating system.
Yeah, I'll suggest you to do it virtually. That will be a best option to do. Just like that, I have installed a Kali Linux into a virtual box. So it is kind of this virtual box is kind of a container. It is kind of a container, and the environment in these things is isolated environment. The things I do, it does not affect the things that I do in my own operating system and all.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So you got my point. What if we have to SSD? We can dual boot. Yeah, you can try to dual boot. There is no problem in dual booting, but it will corrupt your hard disk if anything goes wrong. So I'll be not I'll not be responsible for that. Let me clear first. You can dual boot. There are several ways to access Kali. So let me show you how to do it on a VirtualBox first. Then we can uh, talk about how to do it on different ways. So first, you can go to this official website of KaliLinux, or whatever you want to. You just need to download the ISO files. So if I go to this downloads, get Kali file. So there are virtual machine images are also there. So you don't need to download these things. You can download these bare metal ISO files. These are the legit ISO files you can use to install it anywhere. So what you'll be doing this, there will be a current version of Kali Linux you are installing it. So what you can do, you can select what your system is, 32-bit or 64-bit. Then you can don't install this net installer. It will be less in size, but you need to download all packages during installation. So try to download this installer one. Anyone is clear? Yeah. So so you can download this thing directly from here. Just click on this download. It will be around 3 to 4 gigabytes of network. So download this .iso extension file. So I have already downloaded, so I'll not download it again. Just remember the process. How can you do it? So after you download all those things, you can go to your Kali that virtual box. Just click on new here. Just create a new machine. Just give it a name, whatever it is. I'm just giving it a Kali 2.2. And what type of operating system is? It is Linux, and you can select this Debian distribution, 32-bit or 64. It depends on your system. Okay, let's go to next. Okay, now here you need to select RAM. So you need to select RAM for this. I have done for 2 gigabytes for my computer as well. You can do it according to your system specifications. If you are 4 GB RAM, then you should give 1 GB only. If you have 8 GB, then you can try with 2 GB. And if you have 16 GB, you can go up to 4 GB as well. It depends on you. So for time being, I'm giving it a 1 GB RAM. Then and on next, you need to create a virtual hard disk. Then just click on next. Here what you need to do, you need to specify the what amount of space you want to give to your operating system from your hard disk. So I have 2 terabyte of space. I just want to give it to around 40, 50 or 60 GB, whatever you want. You can give up to only 100 GB as well. So for time being, I am giving it 80. So now you can say you can see that there is a Kali 2.2 machine, but it is not ready yet to be installed. For that, you need to go to the settings. After doing all these things, just go to the settings. After going to the settings, there are several things you need to do. First thing, you need to go to this storage part. After here, you will see that there is a controller ID that is empty. So what you can do, you can choose a file that I told you to download that ISO file. So you will see ISO file here, and if you don't see a file here, you can just choose a file from your system. Okay. So as I in this there as I already see that there is an ISO file, so I'll select that file. Okay, there is the file is 4 GB in size. Okay, then go to this network part. Select this bridge adapter. We select this bridge adapter for the reason that it will be just like a it will just what I can say. If you use this net by default net, then your IP of your Windows machine, and the IP of your virtual machine will be same every time. But if you use bridge that will consider you as a and different machine or different OS. So that will allow you different IP, so you can try different things with your Windows also. If you want to run a port scan or your own Windows, then you can do as well. So by doing this, it will not give you the same IP address for both a main operating system and virtual operating system as well. So and what else you can do? You can do this display thing as well if you want to increase your video memory and all these things. Just wait a minute. Okay, so that's all for that. Now you can press the OK. All the settings are done. Now you can start it actually. So during start, it will take some time. Then it will start installing those OS.
So, Rohit, reshare screen. I think it gets freeze again.
What?
Yeah,
What is
it
happening?
got a start in Oracle box.
Okay, okay. I think there is an issue with my network. That's why it's happening. Okay, now it is fine.
Yeah,
So
it's fine now. Start the machine.
start the machine. You guys understood now what I did in the settings, or you didn't see that? Okay, let me show you again. So first, what you need to do, if you create this thing, this Kali one, then go to the settings, and in this settings you need to change different things, such different things. Just like go to the storage. Here there will be an empty sign. So here you need to add this ISO file, just like that. Yeah, you can see right there is an empty disk. Just what you can do, you can add the ISO file that you have downloaded. That's it what you can do, and then go to the network. Then you need to select this bridge adapter, so you can get a different subnet or different IP address for your virtual operating system. Otherwise, if you leave it as a net, then it will give you the same IP as your main operating Windows operating system. So that will may create a problem for you to experiment on your own Windows machine. Then yeah, in advance, or one more thing you can do, if you want to copy files from your Windows to your virtual machine, or copy text. So what you can do, you can select these things to bidirectional, share a clipboard, and a drag and drop option. I think you guys are familiar with drag and drop option at least. So select this to the bidirectional, then click OK. Okay, everyone is getting my point, what I'm trying to say. Then what you need to do, you just need to press start. It will take some time for installation, but after that you can just easily run your virtual machine. Okay, as you can see, it is starting here. Okay, my screen is visible now. Yeah. So here what you need to do, you need to select graphical install, this one. So just press enter. It may take some time. It depends on the system. Okay. Then you need to select some languages and all. Press on continue. I'm from India. And what English, American English, whatever. Then it will start installing those systems. Okay. So from here, you can just add your host name or your username, domain name, whatever you want to add. Just like, yeah, just like let me enter my name Rohit here, and it will ask for your username. That is the username you will be using for logging in. So remember that username, that is crucial. Then you can choose a root password for your machine as well. So as I'm selecting some password, then you can just continue. It will take a lot of time, so I might not be able to show you that whole time, whole process of installation. But I'll share that resources related to installation of Kali in virtual, uh, and okay, then you will just continue. Most of the time you just need to say continue, but there is only one option. You just select to yes. This is the only one option you need to change. Most of the time you just press the default option and you can just continue. There is only one option during that partition formatting. You need to write changes to disk. By default it is selected to no, but you need to change it to yes. That's the only change you need to make in this installation process, and it will be done over a time. You guys are getting it what I'm doing now. If anybody has doubt, can ask me. So it will be a time taking process. It will take some time. At least on my system it will take 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll share that resources regarding this installation process that will explain you in detail. So I'll be not completely installing this thing, as I already have this KaliLinux in my system. So for here, and I have one next. I have one more thing for you guys all. I have just prepared a introductory quiz for this session. So if you guys want, you can just give this quiz. There is no evaluation such process. It is just for your education purpose. So it will not work on low-end PCs since Virtualbox is absolute. Yeah. It will not work on low-end PCs. If you have low-end PCs, actually minimum requirement is I think i5 8th generation or 9th generation. You need to have. If you have low-end than this, then you may try to have dual boot. Dual boot will be a secondary option for you. And I am pasting a form here, Google form. There is a quiz and there is a 10-minute time limit. So I'll be closing that form acceptance by 6:10. So you guys hurry up and try to give this quiz. These are some basic, basic cybersecurity questions. You can try it on your own.
So Rohit, like everything is done for today.
Almost, sir. Then
If they have any doubts, they can ask us like
yeah,
regarding lab
after
setup and
yeah.
Okay. So Virat, could you please tell them ki what is going to be for tomorrow in brief? Like,
yep, sir. Let them do the quiz first. Then we will discuss about the related what we are going to do in next session, in tomorrow session. And if they have any doubt regarding the lab setup, and I think they have many doubts, they are asking in the discussion box too. So we will clear the. If anyone have any doubt, now you can ask on the discussion box. Then we will take each and every question. And in meanwhile, give the quiz before the time before the submission ends.
I'll be close the acceptance of the form accepting responses by 6:10. So it quickly and try to do it on your own. It is just for knowledge purpose. We are not evaluating it on your knowledge or anything else. So try to be honest. Chansram, you can try for the quiz as well.
Yes, I'm trying.
No, there is no such difference in VirtualBox Kali and bare metal DAL. Actually, what we are doing in the website you are talking about, na, that Kali images. Yeah, there might be a problem with images as there are some different separate installation process, and they are not giving you an ISO file. They are giving you some other extension for VirtualBox disk image or something. So that might be that might be not useful in installing if your VirtualBox don't work and you want to use it on that dual boot, then that VirtualBox disk image will be of no use, na. That's why I'm telling you to try to install an ISO file. That will be a better bare metal Kali. There will be no such difference, but that ISO file will be better. Okay. Yeah, you can use Parrot OS. Kali has the most of the tools pre-installed. Like for penetration testing, you need to use na. So most of the tools are pre-installed in KaliLinux. That's why I'm suggesting it to you, because in Ubuntu Parrot there is no problem. Kali is the most unstable. So if you are using Parrot, you can try to install it on dual boot as well. But you may need to install some packages, some tools on yourselves. That might create some problem. That's why I'm suggesting you to use Kali Linux, or you can use Ubuntu as well, because in Ubuntu there are no pre-installed tools for penetration testing. You need to install it one by one whenever you need it. So that may create a problem. That's why I was suggesting that Kali. Viraj, uh, or Chonsram, just share this PPT or in a PDF format to all those students for those links to the recommended courses and books. Okay.
Okay. Sir, Achincha is asking what can they do with their Kali experience so far.
Hmm?
In the
What
chat box,
you?
yeah, you can check the chat
I
box.
think let them give the quiz first. Only 2 minutes are remaining. Then we will take the Q&A. Means whatever they will
Okay,
ask,
okay.
we can answer.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll
sir.
answer them shortly.
Okay.
Okay, it's 6:10, so I'll be closing this responses. So please be fast. I'm giving 1 more minute. Okay, I have closed that responses. Now you can ask what you guys wanted to ask. If you have any doubt regarding, okay. So what you can do with Kali at our level? You guys can just try to be familiar with Kali Linux. Try to understand CLI, command line interface. Try to use terminal. How to use terminal to different to do different tasks. Try to get familiar with the architecture of Kali Linux. How does things work? Then you can just start with some basic things you can register to some platforms like Hackbox, Try Hack Me. Just start studying about what is vulnerabilities. And I have given you a book called All-in-One Certified Ethical Hacker book, some book of Matt Walker. So that will be a good book if you want to read. And I have some registered. I have given you some courses as well. So I'll be sharing that PPT, so you can take these courses as a reference, and you can start learning about what you can do in start trying to start learn about how to use tools, basic tools like Wireshark, Nmap, Suit, whatever it is.
Guys, you can ask a question like by unmuting yourself. Don't need to like bother yourself to write the question in description box. Like be comfortable or don't get afraid. Just ask any questions if you have any doubt. And what if we have to
Yeah,
scheduling?
you can just frankly ask doubts if you have any.
Yes. And in meanwhile, let me like give you a brief about the tomorrow session. So for the tomorrow sessions, we are going to demonstrate about the recent attacks. The recent most common attacks happen over the world, and also we are like showing some basics attacks, how to do some basics attacks like brute forcing and SSH tunneling concepts, and like how you can use your own setup before the tomorrow sessions. What we are expecting from you, like you will prepare your lab setup completely by tomorrow, as Rohit already demonstrated how you can install Kali on VirtualBox. Then you should be ready with that. Install the Kali machine, or if you don't want to use Kali, you can also go for the Parrot OS. We are suggesting only two OS, Kali and Parrot, because they have already pre-installed many tools, penetration testing tools. Parrot OS is somehow like stable than Kali, but Kali is lightweight than Pareto is. Means it will run faster as compared to Pareto, but the speed, like the difference will be negligible. But like Kali is more preferable because it's run faster. Like it's for professionals, and Pareto is for like beginners. Uh, like it is more beginner friendly. So and we will suggest you to install Kali only. And if you have any doubt regarding lab setup till now, you can ask. Okay, we will wait for 5 more minutes, and I think we have nothing more to say. Like
If
after
you
five
guys have
minutes,
any doubt in the quiz, you can ask as well.
yeah, and after 5 minutes we'll conclude if you don't have any doubt. Rohit, meanwhile, answer the left questions which are left in the description box.
I don't think so. I have missed any question, but let me see one.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please share the installation clip that I can see it again.
Manish, your voice is not clear that much.
Actually, it was breaking in between. So, can you repeat your question, please?
Sir, I am saying that please share the installation video again.
Okay.
in
Yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah.
I will share that installation process. You don't need to worry about it.
Recording will be shared too, and also we will share some blogs where you can read the installation process. We will provide every resources which are necessary. So don't be afraid of it. And any other questions? The last question was, I have i5 4460 and 8 GB of RAM. Which OS should I use, Parrot or Kali? I think you have sufficient specs, so you can go for the Kali or Parrot both in VirtualBox. Even you don't need to like do dual boot. For those who have less specs, like they have i3 processor and 4 GB RAM, they can go for the dual boot. And what I prefer, don't like dual boot with Kali. Use Ubuntu or Parrot OS. If you are going to do dual boot, use Parrot or Ubuntu only. Don't dual boot with Kali because it's like most unstable OS we known till now. And what if we have two SGD? Can we dual boot? Like having two or three SGD doesn't matter. Like the thing which matter where you are going to install. So like if you are going to install separately on two different SGD, you can go for the dual boot too.
It doesn't matter where you download. It will damage the hardware if you install Kali.
Which languages should we learn to get into cybersecurity?
Start with Python. Actually, for the like ethical, like now, what you don't need to be pro in any language. Just learn basics. The thing which you need to be good is you can understand the code of every language. The most popular are Python, JS, which we faced in web app penetration testing. Python, JS, and then
Ruby.
Ruby is also, and PHP. In web app penetration testing, Python, JS, and PHP. These we faced mostly. So start with these three languages. Okay. And also in case of like when we do reverse engineering, that part come later. But for the reverse engineering and forensics, you need to aware about C. So if you have a clear idea about how C works and like if you know if you can write some programs, that will be good. And if you are like going to be write your own tools, own hacking tools, so you must learn C because mostly the tools which are written they wrote in C because C is faster. C or C++. Any other question?
I am releasing the quiz score, so don't be just like be panic if you get a very less score, because it was just your first day in cybersecurity. I was just taking to for just
Yes, even
knowledge.
when I give the quiz first time, I got 9 out of 10. Means you can think like how such a dumb I am.
Yeah, today I was preparing quiz and Viraj was giving quiz, the same quiz I was preparing, and he got 9. So
Means
such a good.
I wrong answer wrong. Means we prepared it for the basics. Actually, he prepared it for the basics, but even I was not able to get 10. So you can understand if you got less.
Some of you guys have done really really good.
And those who got
You-
like 10 out of 10, like I will congratulate you myself because even I was not able to get the 10.
That our Utkarsh sir, na, he was in final. He is in final year, so he's in electric department. So I don't think he know anything about cybersecurity. He got 3. So there is no need to you be panic. Okay.
Chansam, how much you got? Rohit, how much you get?
Actually, I didn't know his roll number now.
Okay, no problem.
B20CS003, sir.
I'm releasing score.
Okay. Let me check how many people get more than me.
Okay.
Who are my competitors?
Okay.
Yes, you can be just frankly. You don't need to be just like doing some rocket science and all. You can just frankly ask anything if you want.
The last question is very tough, sir.
Which one?
Your B20CS03, na Chonsram.
Yes, sir.
He got 7. He got wrong at IPv4 addresses, classes, and
Okay.
BT stream, and that last one.
Okay.
Nice try, although.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you did the same wrong question which I did, the classes one.
Okay, sir.
Even we got confused in that. Previously, we give only 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. But like the classes are 5. So when I give the quiz, na the correct option was not there.
Okay, sir.
So I'm telling now that I am about to get the 10 out of 10. So
What is the answer for the last quiz? Last question.
that binary one.
Binary. Yeah, binary one.
It is last option. It is NITM
Oh my
space
God.
N and S.
Okay.
You can just use the any. Last thing I want to tell to all of you guys, if you want to get started with cybersecurity, na, you can just use the internet very well. Just if you don't understand a thing, just select it and search it on Google. You'll come to know about what this thing is, if some new technology is there, if some new term is there, or if it is by default, some famous problems are there in cybersecurity as well. In all the domains, some famous problems are there. So there are some problems in cybersecurity as well. They are out of the box. So what you can do, use the internet very well. You have option to use internet for not this quiz on, at least. So
And I am repeating one more time. Like this is the last call. For the tomorrow session, you need to be ready with your lab setup, the Kali one. So if you have any doubts regarding that, just ask now.
okay, so I want to get one
Dark web,
actually
dark
one.
web. Hello, sir. Dark web is
Yes.
part of Kali Linux. Can we just code through dark web on Kali Linux?
Bro, dark web actually, you should not go to the dark web so early, because even for ourselves it is a very hectic thing. If you want to access dark web, then you need to use Torque, and you need to have a very high speed of internet. You can using Kali, you can access it, no problem. Using Windows only, you can access it. There is no problem in it. But the thing is that dark web have such things that we also don't know about. Just like you need to, if you want to access it, then just disable all the mics and speakers from your computer. Put black tape on your webcam, and by doing such things, you need to access. And you can just you can't just directly search for anything on the dark web. You need to have a you need to get familiar with dark web. And most important thing, actually, you may not need to use the dark web. If you need some resources, you can ask us. Don't go there by yourself. If you download anything, it may be pirated. it may ask for, it may have ransomware, so it might encrypt your entire system, and all your hard work by that time may gone. So if you are interested in using it, just don't download anything. You can just go for exploring some things. Just you can look at some blogs and online tutorials on YouTube. You can go through those things, but I'll suggest you not to go to, because those are the things beyond our understanding, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So
And that's why we are suggesting you to like install the lab setup over the virtual machine, because
only virtual machine.
if anything goes wrong, it will affect only the virtual machine, not your own host machine.
Okay, it will not affect the hardware. Sometimes what happens in KaliLinux, we use malwares, we deal with the malwares, trojans, viruses, and all the things. So what happens sometimes? You were about to deliver those malwares and it's someone remote machine, but you by mistakenly you execute in your system. So if you execute in system, it may affect or damage the systems. So by if you do in virtual machine, then your hardware will be safe. Any other
So
question you want?
can we use Kali Windows subsystems for Linux?
Kali Windows subsystems. You were talking about that Kali machine on that Windows store, na? Windows App Store.
Yes.
Actually, you can do, but you can't access tools with it. That's the problem. I tried it once. It gives you Kali interface. You can make a disk partition and use it as a Kali, but it creates some problem. As you know, na, Windows don't allow us to do such certain things. So that's the problem with it.
And one thing I will suggest, like there is one WSL CLI. You can run the Kali Linux and install Kali Linux and its tools using WSL. But you cannot it will you can run over the using the command prompt. It will bring you the Linux terminal, and you can run any tool only with CLI. Like it doesn't do anything in the virtualized environment. It will do in the Windows system only. So I'm sharing a blog in the description box. Check it. Like it's not a terminal as we downloaded from Microsoft Store. It's a CLI. Like when you initiate it, it's like a container, Docker container. Have you heard about Docker or containerized
I don't
containers?
think so. So you should not confuse them.
Okay, so like just leave the container part. It's like when you give a
Virtual
simple
environment.
command
It's
and
just like
you
another virtual box, just like a small virtual box with
without any GUI.
without any options.
Any other question?
If
Sir,
anything
brute,
happen in the
sir,
WSL,
brute force.
Nitish, ask first.
Sir, brute force attack is generally used for hacking passwords or any other thing.
Yeah, brute force is just like that. It is used on people who are not very much aware about their password security. Just like that, if you are able to get their username, or if you want to get their username, they have simple password, just like admin, and the password is just like password 123. They can then you can use some common word lists are there. Word lists are there that are been pre-installed in Parrot and Kali. The one most famous one is named as Rocky.txt, and it has around 1 crore 41 lakhs passwords, common passwords in it. So you can try what you can try using certain tools. You can try a certain combinations of username and password, or at a certain fields in a website, or okay, software XYZ, wherever you want to use. So that is mainly called brute force attack.
Or if the password will not match with the word list,
Then
then
it will not give you any result. And brute force is, in real life, you should not try brute force anywhere,
okay, sir.
because there is a very low chance of getting it. 99% chances you won't get any password in real life, unless you have some magical tool to create a custom word list.
Like before doing the brute force attack, we must need to check whether the site is vulnerable for brute force or not. Like sometimes
Yeah,
developer implement a rate limiting over the request. whenever we put input like username and password, a request was made to the server. So like if the developer implemented a methodology where like we can send only three requests at in a 5 second or 10 second period, then we cannot do brute force attack. Like some sites have no, like you have already tried 3 times, tried after 30 seconds or 40 seconds period. So that thing was a brute force protection mechanism. Also, the Google captcha that you got is like after every submit button click, you need to like give the captcha, or you need to clear the Google captcha. So that is also a brute force protection mechanism. So in real world cases, you don't need to find the brute force like the password. You actually need to find whether the site is vulnerable for brute force attack or not. If it has a correct mechanism, if its a brute force protection mechanism is working or not. If it's not working, just report the bug to the site. They will give you. Doesn't matter whether you find the password or not, because that's a different thing. There are many users, so maybe some users have a good password and some have weak password, but the site owner need to be aware about, need to be worried about each user's privacy and security. So they need to implement the password like a brute force protection mechanism. So if you found any site vulnerable for brute force, then you can report it. Rituraj, what was you asking?
Yeah, I was asking if anything goes wrong in Windows subsystem, will it affect the whole OS, Windows OS?
No, no. In virtual machine, if you want to, if you do something wrong or whatever you are doing, it does not affect the system outside. That's why we need an isolated. That's why we are using VirtualBox.
But in case of that Windows substitute that you are talking about, if anything goes wrong with that, we cannot say, like if you make
Yeah,
changes in that.
Windows subsystem of that KaliLinux. Now you are talking about that Windows
Yeah,
subsystem.
he was asking for
It,
that.
it will affect the hard disk because it is directly dependent on that your hard disk. Now it is installed in there. So if you do something, there is a one partition of your hard disk, your entire hard disk of 1 terabyte or XYZ, whatever it is. So that software is taking some part of that 1 terabyte, just like say 10 gigabytes, and it is utilizing that for storing and copying those tasks, to completing those tasks and storing data there. So if anything goes wrong, that it will affect that part, and it will corrupt that the entire 10 GB. You won't be able to use that 10 GB until you need to go through a very hectic process of retrieving those data. Not retrieving those data, retrieving those is that space actually.
Okay, sir.
Anything else? If anyone has no doubt, then we can conclude
So
our
I
session.
think much we don't have any. Yes, sir.
What?
Then ask a question.
I think like we should conclude now. No one is asking any question. If
Yeah.
last call for the we are giving 2 more minutes. If anyone have in doubt, and in the meanwhile, let me repeat the key points. The key points are if you have a good spec, at least i5 and 8 GB RAM, you should go with VirtualBox. Install Kali or Parrot. You have two recommendations. And if your PC specs are not that much good, you have some i3 processor and 4 GB of RAM, then you should go with dual boot, because we will not recommend a virtualized environment in that case, because it will be very laggy. So you should dual boot in that case. And for the dual boot, most recommended is Ubuntu only. You can install some tools manually, but if your hard disk get corrupted, then you cannot recover that. Like you cannot fix it by yourself. So go with the Ubuntu only, and you can either go with Ubuntu or the ParrotOS. ParrotOS is somehow more stable than Kali, but do not dual boot with Kali. And Yeah, that's all we have to say. And for the tomorrow session, like, be ready with the setup. If you have any doubts comes later while you are doing your setup, just ask in the WhatsApp group. We will answer there too. Maximum storage required for Kali. Give 50 or 60 GB. That's more than enough.
Yeah, if you have more than 50 60 GB, that's enough. Minimum you can give is 20 GB, and I'll not suggest you to give 20 GB. Minimum you can try with 40 GB, 40, 50, 60. That will be a good range.
Okay.
Because the more you work on your system, more you work on the cybersecurity things, and more tools, programs, and libraries you need to download, more files you store. So if you are doing it for long term, then give it a more space.
Anything else to ask? Please share PPT.
Yeah,
Chansam?
I'll be sharing. Chansam will be sharing PPT. No, don't worry about it.
Okay, I think we should conclude now. Rohit, anything else?
Yeah.
Chansam?
Chansam, I'll be sharing you that installation link, Kali installation link. You just share in both the groups. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir. I'll be doing that.
Okay.
Okay. Good
Okay,
night,
so
everyone,
everyone.
and thanks for coming.
Thank you, everyone.